Good morning, I'm Iris, and this is X-Pulse AI Morning Mix for Friday, May 15, 2026. Today, Anthropic's Claude jumps ahead of ChatGPT at work, OpenAI and Apple head toward a showdown, and the chip trade keeps ripping as compute demand spikes. I've got Orion with me. Ready?
Ready, let's do it.
We're starting with the biggest shift in the model race. Axios reported on May 13th that Anthropic just passed OpenAI in U.S. business adoption. What's the headline, Orion?
RAMP's AI index data shows that in April, more U.S. companies were paying for Anthropic's Claude than for ChatGPT, apparently the first time Claude leads on paid workplace usage. It's not saying consumers love Claude more, it's saying procurement and integrations are breaking Anthropic's way.
What changed, product, distribution, or trust?
Distribution and integration look huge. Claude being broadly available through Amazon Web Services helps enterprises roll it out where their data already lives. Also, companies care about reliability, safety controls, and predictable behavior. In the office, good enough consistently beats wow sometimes.
Does this mean OpenAI is losing enterprise or just losing share?
More like share. OpenAI is still the dominant consumer brand, and plenty of businesses use both. But this is a real signal. The enterprise market is turning into an integrations contest, not a vibes contest. Also, your Slack bot has a new favorite coworker.
Staying on Anthropic, Verdict reported today, May 15th, that PwC is expanding its alliance with Anthropic. What are they doing exactly?
PwC says it's scaling Claude across enterprise clients, including regulated sectors like healthcare, life sciences, and financial services. They're highlighting efficiency gains, up to 70% in some workflows, especially with Claude Code for coding, compliance, and documentation-heavy work.
How big a deal is a consultancy stamp like PwC here?
It's massive. Big firms buy outcomes, not model subscriptions. PwC can bundle strategy, governance, implementation, and change management into one yes. For Anthropic, it's distribution into conservative orgs. For PwC, it's a way to productize services and defend margins.
Any risk when consultants industrialize a model across clients?
The main risk is sameness. If everyone ships the same assistant, advantage compresses. The winners will be whoever pairs the model with unique data, strong controls, and tight integration into systems of record. The model is becoming the engine, not the car.
Now, the messier part of the AI stack, partnerships. TechCrunch reported on May 14th that OpenAI is exploring legal action against Apple over the ChatGPT integration Apple announced back in 2024. What's at issue?
Reports say OpenAI believes Apple didn't deliver the depth of operating system integration that was promised, and that the integration didn't drive the subscriber growth or prominence OpenAI expected. Important nuance. At the time of reporting, there's no formal lawsuit filed, just preparation and escalation.
And Apple's also deepening ties with Google's Gemini, right?
Yes, the reporting frames this against Apple, leaning more on Gemini for its next-generation Apple Intelligence. That changes bargaining power. If Apple can swap model providers, OpenAI's leverage drops. For Apple, it's classic supplier strategy. Keep options open, keep pricing honest.
How should listeners interpret this, drama or strategy?
Strategy with drama as the user interface. Distribution is everything, and the phone is the biggest distribution surface in computing. Nothing says strategic partnership like attorneys on standby.
Let's talk infrastructure and markets. Axios reported on May 13th that semiconductor stocks are leading gains as AI compute demand surges. What's driving the move?
Demand for AI compute is creating supply tightness and higher prices across logic, memory, and infrastructure chips. The rally is broadening beyond Nvidia. Investors are also bidding up names like TSMC, Broadcom, and ASML, basically the whole picks and shovels chain for data centers and custom accelerators.
Is this just hype, or are companies truly spending more?
CapEx is clearly rising for AI data centers, networking, and power delivery. The key point is the bottlenecks aren't only GPUs. Packaging, memory bandwidth, lithography tools, and interconnect all matter. When the stack constrains, the whole supply chain gets paid.
What should we watch next in chips?
Two things: lead times and power. If lead times keep stretching, pricing stays firm. And if power availability slows data center buildouts, the chip demand curve can wobble. Compute doesn't exist without megawatts.
On the China angle, CNBC reported on May 14th that Tencent and Alibaba are ramping up domestically developed AI chips as Nvidia remains effectively shut out. What did they say?
Both signaled increased availability and deployment of homegrown AI chips this year. Alibaba also talked about selling servers equipped with its chips or co-building data center capacity. It's a clear pivot. Build a domestic accelerator supply chain and a more self-sufficient compute stack.
Does that create a real alternative ecosystem or a second best one?
It can become a durable alternative, especially for inference and for workloads optimized to local hardware. Performance may lag top-end Nvidia parts, but scale plus software optimization can close gaps. The bigger shift is strategic. China's cloud leaders are aligning hardware, servers, and data centers under one roof.
Any ripple effects outside China?
Yes, global sourcing and competition. If domestic Chinese accelerators mature, they can reduce dependence on global suppliers and eventually compete on price in adjacent markets. It also pressures everyone to think in full stacks, not single chips.
A few more fast-moving stories to keep on your radar. Orion, hit us with the Apple developer angle first.
On May 13th, 9to5Mac reported Apple is preparing to add AI agents into the App Store ahead of WWDC, using pieces like App Intents, private cloud infrastructure, and tighter store controls. And on May 14th, HPC Wire covered an NTT Data report warning enterprise AI deployments are outpacing infrastructure and governance. Cross-border and sovereign model integration are major blockers.
Staying with infrastructure and policy, what are people pushing back on?
Tom's Hardware reported on May 14th that about 70% of Americans oppose data centers near their homes, citing land use and energy concerns. Some builds are delayed by power constraints and community pushback. Then CBS News reported today, May 15th, Colorado's governor signed a bill replacing the state's 2024 AI law, aiming to streamline requirements.
HCL Tech and Sarvam AI. What's Sarvam and what's the money?
The Free Press Journal reported on May 14th that HCL Tech plans a $150 million investment to lead a $300 million round into Bengaluru-based Sarvam AI, valuing it around $1.5 billion. Sarvam builds AI models and platforms tailored for Indian languages and enterprise use. Also, Digitime says Anthropic is in talks to buy AI SDK startup Stainless for over $300 million, and CoinDesk says Solana tokens tied to Anthropic and OpenAI shares fell nearly 40% after both companies flagged those share transfer structures as invalid.
That's XPulse AI Morning Mix for Friday, May 15th, 2026. If this helped you, share it with a teammate who lives in their inbox. See you next time.